Yeah, I get it. Hi, I'm so hungry.
What's up, Savannah? Oh, wait a minute. We switched the cameras. Now one's Insta, one's the other one.
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Usually the Instagram camera goes over here. What's up, Christina? Good morning. What is that? Oh, thanks.
Is that your phone or mine?
That's yours. Hello, test.
Should be on.
I have a microphone. Oh, I didn't.
Should be on. The Wi-Fi. The house Wi-Fi.
What's up, guys? Good morning, Rochelle. Okay. Yep, it's working good now.
Okay.
So, microphone. Hello, test.
Get off my cable. You stand on my cable 90% of the time.
Nice try.
Smoke rises from the mountain. What are you doing?
Do we have any listeners in New Zealand? Please invite us there so I can go to Mordor. Thanks. Mordor.
No thanks.
I have a
Can
hard
you
time.
grab that? Please.
I have a hard time seeing the thing. It seems like it's far away now. Good morning, Brad.
Scoot closer. You have all the power in the
Good
world
morning,
to
Needy.
do this.
Glad you're here with us, buddy.
There.
First time making it live. Good morning.
Okay. Oh, that was
that's
loud.
loud.
Check.
Holy-
Why is it so
Jeez,
loud?
I don't know.
Kid mess with it. Check. Check. Check.
Test.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Check.
Can you turn me up, please? Good morning, Sammy.
Check. Talk loud.
What's up, Brad? Good morning. Hello, test.
Okay. Check,
Hello.
check.
Good morning. Monday morning.
Okay. You ready?
I believe so. Kind of out of the frame here. Should you turn it this way a little bit?
It's gonna fall. Don't do that. Just adjust yourself.
Hello. Good morning.
Just.
All right. Do you guys have a favorite worship song right now? Worship song?
I don't listen to actual current worship songs, so.
I only not listen to those, basically. No. Wait, you said my name properly. Oh, good.
That's. We often struggle with saying names properly.
What's up, Brad? Hello, already said that.
Okay.
Mated Podcast. What's up, Mated Podcast?
Good morning.
Good morning. You guys are good.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready to start. Here we go.
Love to collaborate. Okay, here we go.
Hello
you
and welcome. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today is day 67. We're going to be talking about panic attacks, inspiration, and fighting negative self-talk.
If you're new here, welcome. We have over 283 episodes of our show, and we talk about all things marriage and relationship related because sometimes it's difficult, and
That's
it was
right.
difficult for us, and we want to not have it be difficult for you.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, we are live on Facebook and Instagram, so you will hear us chatting with the people on the Facebook and Instagram feeds. So you can always join us every day on Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. Can't say anything right this morning.
PST.
And as always, our show is brought to us by Audible. We love audiobooks. I'm currently reading Aware by Dan Siegel on Audible, and it's amazing.
Yep.
So you can get a free audiobook if you go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage. Please do that. Get a free audiobook on us because they're rad.
That's right. Oh, look, Kitten Breath joined. Finally. One of my
Adorable
favorite things
name.
is reading the handles of stuff, too. What's up, Steven?
I like
Good to see
bacon,
you,
eggs,
buddy.
and grits. I want to see them today.
Yeah, that one's good. Okay.
So I
right.
totally forgot to get a review of the day.
That's okay. Review of the day, 5 stars. We're rad. You should listen.
5
Change
points
your
to
life.
Gryffindor.
That's right.
But I did
Okay.
want to read, so I want to encourage everybody to go to our Facebook groups and to join them. This is a thing that was in our Facebook group, and the women's group, and I wanted to just read it. So it says, it's a question. It says, I'm looking for some tips to get myself out of a panic attack. I'm looking for a therapist, but I need tools now. I had 2 attacks yesterday to the point where I could hardly breathe, move, or talk. So then there was like 13 responses from the women in the group, but I'm going to read 3 of them and then we're going to talk about it. So and these are not in order, and these are like literally only 3 of 13 responses. But one says, splash your face with cold water. It shocks your nervous system and takes you out of fight or flight mode. A second one says, look around and list 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can touch. That might not be the right thing. If someone is with you, get them to breathe slowly with you and have you match their breaths. Number 3, it says, I'm so sorry you're going through that. The Fitbit has a breathing exercise that helps me get through mine because it shows the breathing pattern that you're having. Pressure is also really helpful too. If I'm with someone I trust, tight hugs with pressure on the arms, if you're comfortable with that. A weighted blanket can also be helpful too. So the reason that I'm bringing that up is that was only portions of 3 answers of 13 that were in the women's group. And it's like the beehive, like Beyonce's beehive. It's like that in the women's group. Like the second someone posts something, all these women just go, okay, I'm on it. And they just like swarm in and they help out and they love on each other. We've gotten so much feedback where people are like, the women's group is amazing. Yeah. Like it's so incredibly helpful. So I want you to check it out if you're a lady. Go check out the men's group if you're a dude, and get into these groups. They are like a real-time place where you can get help right away. So thank you for putting the question in there about your panic attacks. I want to also talk about panic attack stuff.
I think that some of this advice is really good, and a lot of it is actual therapeutic. Like, you know how I've talked about how you can just kind of ground yourself and like touch your legs, touch your body, just like, okay, feel where you are to orient yourself. And that can really be helpful. And also what it does is slows you down and puts like a visceral, physical contact with yourself. So it's grounding. It says, so helpful. All these women are incredible and so helpful.
Yes,
they are. It sounds like it. And also some cognitive behavioral stuff, some CBT. I would like to know as a therapist and I know that also panic attacks sometimes can just come out of nowhere. But then if I was your therapist, I would ask you about, okay, what are some precursors to these panic attacks? Tell me about your day 5 days ago and let's run through these things. You know, have you had panic attacks before? What helps you best after? And just really get some awareness, just kind of wrap awareness around it, right?
Yeah. That was the one thing I was going to say, is that where I would start is I want you to assess, evaluate, and identify your panic attacks and write the things down that happen before you have one. And I would also really encourage you to look, like, not to just the immediate, like what's in front of me, like, oh, well, my kid cried and I had a panic attack. But also look at things like, oh, right now I'm in finals week at school, or the mortgage is due and it's like we're really tight with money. Like, look beyond what's sort of the most apparent thing and go like 4 layers out and say, okay, is like family stuff a problem? Do I have a problem with my mother-in-law or my brother-in-law? Is there something going on at work? And really kind of stand up above your current feelings and try to take a 30,000 foot view of what is going on and see if you can identify that in a different way.
I slept weird last night and then woke up, and like one of the first things that I thought when I woke up was the idea of, it kind of goes along with the concept of like you've been talking about, like, take your outside self and how like your outside self is looking down.
Oh, the plural thinking man? Yes.
The plural thinking man, yes, that one. And it just hit me, and I really like it when I think of things in the morning because that's like my clearest brain, I guess. And this concept of like, I, as a person, Seth, have lived 1,000 lives, not like reincarnation lives or anything, but every single day that I've woken up, that's like a life that I've had, right? And then all of those lives culminate into
the present moment.
And that was just really interesting because it's like the plural thinking man, like, okay, there's been 1,000 zillion Seths, whatever, 365 times how many years old I am, right? There's that many Seths that have lived, and they're out here, and they can look in and say, do this. This is wise. This is the best choice, kind of thing. What are you smiling
You're debunked Sethra.
Is that what you were thinking about the whole time? You weren't even listening?
All I wanted to say was, you're debunked Sethra. I can't even say it. It's hard to say.
Mothra. Anyway,
that's a really cool concept.
It's just that idea of like, oh, there's a literal 1,000 faces behind me just looking at me, not in like some creepy way, but it's like, oh, well, this is who you are today. So
I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of thing.
How did it relate to anxiety?
I don't know if it did or not.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hashtag ADD life.
No, that's right.
But I did want to say, assess, evaluate, identify, and write down your triggers for your anxiety. But then there was another layer of it too, where our anxiety and our biological reflexes to things, so fight, flight, freeze, faint, anxiety, that is a body response that our brain tries to make sense of. It is not a logical thinking brain response that our body is reacting to. Let me say it again. Anxiety, fear, fight, flight, freeze is a body response that our brain is reacting to, not a brain response that our body is reacting to. That means that when you're in a moment of anxiety, your body is working. You have brain, like your guts have brains. That's actually a real thing. Your heart has brains. Seriously, it's a real thing. I'm not making this crap up. And so these things have their own like nervous systems and wiring the same way that our brain has wiring. That's why a gut instinct is a thing. Like that's a thing because it's a thing. But so why I'm bringing that up and why I'm saying that and why it's helpful to know is that your brain is going to want to try to make sense of what your body's feeling. Like you feel this wave of fear and you look around and go, oh my gosh, bear, cat, tiger, llama, I don't know, bear, cat. And you look for the things that are freaking out, right? But that isn't always the truth, right? Especially in the age where we're not surrounded by lions all the time. So now the job is to disconnect your thinking, your feeling, disconnect your feeling brain from the situation, like pop your head off, like go, and sort of assess it in a different way. Understand that the feeling you're feeling is not related to the truth of your situation. Does that make sense? And you have control over that. It's hard, but you have control over that, and you have more power in that moment than you think you do. But it takes understanding that your body is lying to you.
I love all this information that you're spitting out from like reading Dan Siegel and all these other books. You're so smart.
He's my boyfriend. But it's really important to understand that you cannot trust what your body is telling you. In one sense, you need to trust that I'm not done. You need to trust that you're overwhelmed, and you have to address that. You cannot ignore that. But in a moment of a panic attack, when there is no immediate threat or danger, do not trust what your body is feeling. You can feel it and let it go. Kyle Cease talks about this idea of saying, and I love that, to things like, I am terrified to ride on an airplane, and I love that. And like letting that fear transition into something else. It's crazy. Sounds really weird, but read anything by Kyle Cease, watch any of his documentaries. They're amazing. And I think that'll be really helpful. But thank you for sharing in the women's group. And ladies, thank you for killing it in your responses.
That's right. So we're not going to read this one yet. We're going to read the other thing.
That's not a question.
But that's the inspiration part. So this is a good segue into kind of panic attacks and like thinking things that aren't necessarily true and kind of slowing down and stuff. So this comes from the men's group, and I'm not going to read it verbatim. Let's see. Wait a minute. So I'm not going to read it verbatim, but one of our guys talked about negative self-talk, right? And I don't think we've read this one before. And it was this whole long thing of like, I do these things, I have good ideas, and then sometimes I get negative self-talk around that. And then there's a bunch of responses because guys, surprisingly, have, I don't know, I'm just kind of pulling quotes out of the air, but like as much self-talk as maybe women do.
Negative self-talk?
Negative self-talk. Like,
I don't think it's gendered.
Well, whatever, but it's different. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I making enough money? Do I have the right kind of whatever? There's a lot of pressure in that, and it's like a different, I think, kind of pressure, but similar in the same way. So we were talking about what do we do to combat negative self-talk, and the guy was like, Seth, I know you talked about it before on the show, and it absolutely is something that we struggle with, and I have found that literally speaking out loud, or just quietly under your breath to like say something truthful about a negative self-talk. Like, you could say, oh yeah, because of this, and it's just, you're so stupid. I said that. Like, I say that all the time in my mind. I don't know why, but I'm like, wait a minute. I stop it. So stop thoughts, that cognitive behavioral thing is like stop thoughts. You arrest it, you name it, and then you go, wait a minute. That is absolutely not true. You're awesome. You're a hard worker. You do this. You're creative, and you're good. Sure, there's things you can work on. However, but right now, you're awesome, kind of thing. And it's literally stopping it in its tracks, pulling it over, putting the blue lights on, and be like, nope.
I literally imagined you like handcuffing the words, "You're stupid," like a kids show,
and like not being.
It's like the bad apple rap in the electric company. It's the bad words. And the sheriff comes to town and raps them away. I think that one of the things I heard, and I can't remember who said it. It could have been Kyle Cease. I don't know. But they talk about the idea of not listening to yourself. Like, don't listen to yourself and talk to yourself. Meaning, and I do this I do this, but I don't have I don't have negative self-talk the way that you have it. Like I don't ever think, oh, that was so dumb, I'm an idiot. Like I just am like, oh, I did that thing. Oops. Like I don't know. I don't have it in the same way. But I will have a negative, I'll have like, I guess what I would call like depressive thoughts. Like everything is pointless. Why am I here? Like no one gives a crap and like no one cares. Yeah. Like I'll have that. Not as frequently now. I used to have it a lot. Like when we were first married. But I'll have these really like discontent, really negative, really like depressing. They always lead to the same like, I'd rather be dead. Why do I live? What's the point, right? And so I stop those and I don't listen to them. And I literally will be like, I will do it in the most insane ways in my mind, just like, you know, just like super crazy, goofy, like I'll imagine like the muses from Hercules being like, stop, you know, or make it a disco song or I'll listen to Beyonce and it will somehow turn into like a self-empowering and banish the dementor thoughts, you know what I mean? Like there's a way that you can do it in whatever suits your mind the best, but we have to stop listening to ourselves, you know?
Yeah, that idea of don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself more. Because if I listen to myself, it might just be full of negativity, full of overwhelming things. You know, not everything is like dreary and doom and gloom. However, but if I talk to myself and like gave myself empowering thoughts, like you got this, you're going to do this, you're everything. Well,
and too, to quote another amazing Disney movie,
oh boy,
I think like Kronk and his angels on his shoulders in The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah.
Right? He has a devil and an angel and they talk to him. And one is mean and one is nice, and we have those same things. We are plural humans.
That's right.
And one of the things I think that is so important in that idea is that where attention goes, what is it? What did we say?
Where focus
goes.
No. Where energy flows, focus goes.
And neural connections grow.
That's right.
So if you are listening to the devil on your shoulder and he's making fun of you and he's that's a harp and that's a dress, right? If he's being mean to you, you will create neural connections. You will create more neural pathways of negativity and being upset and things are hard and things are bad. If you use the other side and you're talking about grit and like determination and positivity and you're going to get over things, you will create neural connections for grit.
That energy's going there, then the focus is going to go there, and then those neural connections are going to be built.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. I'm so glad you read that. Brad says, that really works. I even said, Brad, knock it off. You know better than that.
Yes.
Yeah, like literally, like saying your name, Seth, stop it.
Talk to yourself like you talk to your kid. Like if your kid was doing that to your other kid, you'd be like, knock it off.
No, then you started yelling match with yourself.
I told you. Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, someone says eating sour candy during an anxiety attack helps.
I like that one because that's like
Sour Patch Kids are the best.
Well, something sour like a warhead, like an atomic warhead.
Gross.
Those candies, you know.
Yeah.
But that really is true because it physically, that's a bio piece, like splashing cold water on yourself. It's like you're literally shocking your system and eating sour candy. That's really
change.
I love that.
All it is you need to, for anxiety is a state change. That's a part of it, not all you need. But.
So today we kind of have to do a shorter show. Somebody says, I don't think it's necessarily gender specific, but I wonder because if women are more conditioned and likely to externalize their negative thoughts so they don't build up as much as others. Yeah, maybe. Wait a minute.
Enneagram related, yeah. I think,
yeah
that's cool. Yeah. Like that makes sense that it would be Enneagram related. I think women are socialized to be more self-critical, external, like overtly self-critical. Like if they're not self-critical, they're a B.
Yeah.
Men are just confident, and women are Bs.
Whoa. Not really. That's a farce.
Niece
talks about talking to myself has really helped me. In fact, having a conversation at the moment of negative self-talk has really helped me. What makes you hate yourself? Why do you feel?
How or why do you feel like you are stupid? I used to talk and tell myself I was a bad person first thing in the morning and really mess me up. That's one. Oh, I'm so glad that you brought that up because one of the things I learned, I don't even know where I learned it. I think it might be Dan Siegel, but they talk about one of the first things they do when they wake up and before they go to bed is they thank. They talk about how they're thankful for the day and how they're like a good good thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they have gratitude for themselves in the day. So if you're starting off your day saying, I suck, I'm bad, this is terrible, everything's going to go to crap, you know, then you're
guess
starting
what?
off
Your
with energy that is focused on the negative, and it will grow neural pathways, and that will, you're essentially planting a garden of negativity, and it will grow.
That's exactly
so
right.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I
That's
think
a really good point. Sometimes in the morning, if I'm in a good mindset, and this happens more often than not, thankfully, I wake up and go, okay, let's do this. We got this, and just whatever kind of positive thing, like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this, and it just works. It works.
I wake up really happy because I love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, that's what part of the reason I can't sleep sometimes is I'm like, it's almost time to get up.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny.
Okay, what's up, Carissa Sykes? Okay, let's see. Now, we're going to cut this short a little bit today, but now we're going to talk about inspiration. Melanie has a pretty cool quote, and then it's going to talk about something that's...
Well, so we have to cut the episode short today because I'm doing the Hello Courageous Inspire Summit at 9 a.m. and it's a video thing like this, a live podcast. What am I trying to say? It's a live webinar, yes. And you can go, if you go to Hello Courageous and you'll see, on Facebook, you'll see the Inspire Summit. You can join it and you can watch me this morning. I'm talking at 9. But then there are things that you can get, like I have a PDF. I have a 3-page PDF for the thing itself. What am I trying to say? The webinar itself. And then I have an 8-page story with questions in it that you can get later if you like join the group and do all these other things. So I'm super excited.
You must have woken up and said, hey, I'm going to add value today.
I woke up and said, I'm going to bring some value to this day today, folks. I love myself. No, but I'm really excited about the Hello Courageous Inspire Summit. It's with Melissa Scott. She's been on our show. She's from Hello Courageous, and I'm super, super jazzed. So that's at 9 this morning. You can, again, watch it live. I would love for you all to be there, and you can comment and ask questions, but it's about my journey specifically. And it has to do with Seth and I, but it's more about like...
I wish I could watch it.
How you can. It's live.
Oh,
but it has to do with... it's called Daring to Change and Becoming Courageous. Right? And it's what that looks like, how that process took place, what the process of becoming courageous looks like. Because it's not what I thought it would be.
I'm going to listen to it and get inspired by you.
I'm sure you
You're
will.
going to be my coach. Somebody says, is it only live or can it be played back?
I think it can be played back, but you just see if you can join the group on Facebook and figure that out. Because I think you can play it back for like 24 hours, and then you can have access to it. If you like do an email thing, I can't quite remember. I'm not the one in charge of the whole thing, so I don't want to give the wrong info.
Okay. So read this quote that you have here. It's pretty good.
But I'm not done.
Ooh, sorry.
I wanted to share it with you guys because I want you to join me there. I'm sort of stepping into my own motivational space with things that I'm doing in different areas and speaking at women's groups and stuff like that. So I'm super stoked about that. So I love that kind of thing. But it's getting me all jazzed up for like inspiring people.
Yeah.
And there's a lady that I follow. Her name is Marie Forleo. She's a author and like a business lady. I don't even know how I found her, but she had a quote.
Popular.
Yeah, she had a quote this morning, and it says, "Failure as a concept is incredibly short-sighted. It's like watching a movie and stopping in the middle because the characters hit conflict. You have no clue where the story ends unless you keep going." And I loved that idea. That I think it is so frustrating to me when I see people, and I was exactly like this, but when I see people get into conflict, which is like the bread and butter of growth. You don't grow without conflict, right? A caterpillar is probably like, what the crap is going on? I'm stuck in a cocoon, right? It's in the most conflict it's ever been in. It can't go anywhere. It can't do anything. It's feeling sensations on its back, right? Like it can't figure out what's going on. And
sleeping bag is really tight.
If it only stopped there, it would never become a butterfly, right? And so I think that so many times people don't realize that the conflict that they are in is the thing that will cause them to have growth. And they look at it like, this is all bad. It's terrible, 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 terrible bad. And really, if we could change the way we see it, and it's again, I go to that idea that I use of like the feeling man, the singular feeling man. He's standing in the middle and everything's hard. It's scary. He's like a lizard going, la, 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 right? But then if we can zoom back up, way up here, and think of the plural thinking man, we have many selves. We have many conceptualized ways of seeing the world, and we can think through this in a way instead of feel through it. We can have more control, more insight, more awareness, and growth and conflict is where that happens. We have to change our perception of conflict being so incredibly bad.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to share that quote. I just
then,
thought it was
so this just came
cool.
to me because I was thinking as you were talking, like, oh, growth, it sucks and it's hard. You have to sit in the uncomfortable and not like numb out. And it's like, that's what I need to do daily.
Yes.
You know, it's daily. And then I had another thought about it, but it literally left my brain.
Well, that was
Dang
funny.
it. Pushing through the struggles produces the most growth. Yeah, that's true. It's like growing pains. We tell our kids, oh, my legs are hurting. You know, I'm like, well, that's what growing pains are.
Yeah.
You can't get taller. You can't grow. You can't expand unless you feel that uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
And
I think about it with driving. Like, there's nothing hard. I always think, how on earth did I learn how to drive a car? I learned how to drive a stick shift of all things. And I think about that because, like, if you are so motivated to drive because you know it will release you to do so many things in this world if you can drive a car, right? So we're so motivated to learn how to drive. It's like the one thing a teenager wants to do. Unless they have anxiety, then they never want to do it. But like, people want to drive cars. I want to be able to go to the mall. I want to go there alone. I want to do these things. I want to be my own person. It's the same exact thing with conflict. It equips you with skills that nothing else equips you with. And you can handle things in a way that you can't handle any other way if you haven't gotten the skills to learn how to drive.
And you can't get those skills without going through something hard.
Yeah, without being afraid of getting on the freeway for the first time. Or
that's
like,
just how it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same process. So I don't know. I just thought it was, I'm super jazzed about the inspirational stuff coming up, and I wanted to share that quote with you.
You're going to do awesome on that. Good job.
Thank you. And then lastly, we want to re-drop the idea into your minds of Anatomy of Marriage group therapy, right? We're starting this process. We'll get an email sent out. If you want to, like, reach out to us if you're interested in it. Send us an email to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com, and you can let us know that you're interested. But again, we will send out an email thing soon and like get an official page. Canon, please do that. Our help.
What we pay for, we value more, and we get more growth out of. Think of it as a free gym membership. You're like, well, it's free, it doesn't matter. Or a paid membership. You're like, oh man, I should go and do that. Okay, I'm going to do it. So what?
She said Melanie snatching the bag away from Seth without stopping was the funniest thing I've seen in days.
What bag?
You just pulled the bag out of your pocket and I just grabbed it and threw it.
That's my life, people. So anyway,
I'm glad you like that.
Check out the AOM group therapy that's going to come online soon. It will be a paid group. You'll have more access to other like-minded people, not only just me and Melanie, which you will have access to us, but other like-minded people who want to be there, who are like, these are my goals. How can you help me get to those goals? How can I help you get to your goals? And you just go off of each other. Yeah. It's a huge thing. You'll probably cry, you'll probably laugh, you'll probably be like,
we'll
this
probably
is awesome.
Cry.
Yeah, I know, but that's part of it. And I'm excited because we've done group therapy before, we've participated in it. I've facilitated zillions of group therapies before, and it is a really cool process. So I want to put that bug in your guys' mind again to really seriously consider joining. It's not going to break the bank, but it will cost something, and that's a
less than traditional therapy for sure.
Yes, that's for sure.
And sorry, what?
No, I was going to say, remember to go rate and review the show. It really helps us to get up there, and we're excited that you guys joined us here today on Monday. Have an awesome week. You got any other things?
No, I didn't know we were wrapping up.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. Have an awesome week, and
again, join us or join me this morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my Inspire Summit Convo. Oh, you missed it again. Wife and life. But anyway, so I'm excited about that. I want you to be there. I want you to be a part of it because when I'm on my own, I'm a different gal. I tell you what.
She is.
But anyway, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Monday. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
After show dance. After show dance. The podcast doesn't get the after show dance.
The podcast doesn't get the after show dance.
Breakdown. We have more room.
I wish you could see my hips right now. All right.
I wish you could see my hips right now. That's what everybody says.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing. I need to do this.
Whew. All right.
Doesn't get the after show dance.
Nope. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.